So in this video, I'm going to respond to two common questions and comments we get a lot on this channel. One being, why don't you just ride a mountain bike? Number two, related, is aren't these new gravel bikes just old school mountain bikes in disguise? Well, let's find out in this video. Welcome back, Pathless Peddlers, and if you're new to the channel, if you love the fun and non-competitive side of cycling, the supple life, you have found your people, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy content like this, consider supporting the channel via PayPal and Patreon. We've lined up some super cool perks for our supporters, including up to 20% discounts with brands like Swift Industries, Redshift Stem, Tenkara Rodco, and Post Carry Company. So let's jump right in. We like to do a lot of mixed terrain riding, and one of the most common comments is, why don't we just ride mountain bikes? There's a number of reasons why we choose drop bar style gravel bikes, all road bikes, if you will. And just to emphasize, these are our personal preferences, so don't get your feelings hurt. I'm not saying the bike that you like to ride is wrong. This is just why we ride the bikes that we ride. So reason number one is terrain specific. The events that we like to do, the rides that we do often tend to be mixed terrain rides. So there is a fair amount of pavement, fair amount of gravel roads, and occasionally some single track. But it's largely some sort of road, whether paved or unpaved. And for us, it makes sense to ride more of an all-road or gravel style bike for that kind of riding. Yes, you could conceivably do all those rides on a mountain bike, but to my mind, mountain bikes are really optimized for single track and trails and really technical stuff. And while you could use it on an all-road ride, it would be largely overkill for most of the ride. It would be kind of like cutting a birthday cake with a chainsaw. Yes, you could do it, but probably not the best tool for that job. So another reason why we favor the all-road drop bar style gravel bike is because of aerodynamics, but not in the arrows everything kind of sense, but in terms of making a headwind more bearable. A lot of the terrain that we ride in, there are some flat open stretches where you're just buffeted by winds. Think of events like Dirty Kansas, for example. A bike with drop bars just makes it easier to kind of tuck in out of the wind. You can get into the drops, you can lay low on the hoods. Your overall frontal profile is a little bit narrower. You're not a wide open arm like this as you would be on a flat bar mountain bike. So even though we're not speedsters and are, benefiting from all the aerodynamics, we do appreciate it in a headwind. Just makes it that much easier to pump out those long miles. So reason number three is multiple hand positions. It's nice to be able to move the body around, to ride in the tops of the drops, to ride on the flat section when climbing, to tuck into the drops when descending, or when you're trying to cheat the wind a little bit. You could argue that you could get multiple hand positions on the flat bar mountain bike. That's completely possible, but for us, our preference is in the drop bar when we need multiple hand positions. And kind of a asterisk, this is a real personal issue with me, is when I ride on a flat bar too long, it really aggravates my carpal tunnel just because of the hand position this way. And I really benefit from just riding drop bars. And just because they're dropped doesn't mean they have to be super slammed on the stem like you see the pros ride. You can have them fairly upright and be comfortable. It just lets you move your hands and wrists in different angles. So those are the three reasons why we tend to lean towards more the all-road or gravel bike for mixed terrain riding. Let's address the second comment, which is, aren't gravel bikes just, repurpose old school mountain bike technology? All right. Let's talk about it. When I think old school mountain bike, I think of the Specialized stump jumper, 80s, mid 80s vintage. And first thing I found is that it was kind of hard to track down a geometry chart. I did find this article in Dirt Rag, and he kind of gave some of the angles and measurements of the bike so we can compare them with the modern all-road gravel bike. According to this article, the head angle is 67 degrees. So that means it's fairly slack. So that translates to kind of a floppy, lazy steering at low to moderate speeds. But when you're going downhill, it really stabilizes and is optimized for going downhill. So just looking at the head angle alone and comparing it to modern day gravel all-road bikes like, say, the Salsa Warbird or the Trek Checkpoint, the head angles of those bikes are in the 70s, so 70 degrees or 71, 72 degrees. So a lot steeper head angle and therefore more agile in the front end. So in terms of front end geometry, not the same. Let's look at the rear of the bike. This is where things get pretty interesting. I found a couple references to the chainstay length of the mid-80s stump jumper. I was surprised to learn that the chainstay length was in the 47 centimeter range. Just to give you guys a frame of reference, a touring bike like the Long Haul Trucker or the Via, those chainstays are about 45 centimeters. And bikes like the Salsa Warbird, the chainstay is 43 centimeters. A bike like the Checkpoint, I believe, is 425. So you can see there is a huge difference in chainstay length. What this means in terms of ride quality is that the stump jumper would have a generally long and stable feeling, probably not the best bike to accelerate out of the saddle, but would be super confident going down steep descents, but definitely not the same as the modern gravel all-road bike. Stump jumper is long and low, optimized for stability, whereas the modern gravel bike, all-road bike, at least a good cross-section of them, seem to descend more from the road and cross bike realm. So a lot steeper head angles, a lot shorter chainstays. Similar maybe insofar as both bikes have two wheels, but in terms of handling, that it's a night and day difference. All right, so what did you guys think of that explanation? I think there's a lot of confusion of what a gravel all-road bike is and what it isn't. I might do another comparison video talking about the all-road bike and a touring bike, because again, those are two other bikes that look very similar, but when you hop on them, they are very different. So let me know if you want me to make that video, or if you have any other kind of comparison videos you want me to talk about. But I'm curious, do you guys like to ride mountain bikes on, what essentially is, gravel on a gravel ride? Let me know your reasons why or why not. And as always, keep the supple side down.